Have you ever been completely fine? You're walking, working, eating, or just lying in bed, and suddenly your brain says, "Remember that embarrassing thing you did 5 years ago?" And before you can stop it, you're back there. You remember what you said, what the other person looked like, what you should have said, and somehow you feel embarrassed all over again. But here's the strange part. The event is over. Nobody is watching anymore. So why does your brain keep bringing it back? The answer is more interesting than you might think. Your brain is built to learn from emotionally important experiences. Embarrassment is especially powerful because it involves something humans care deeply about: how other people see us. When you make a social mistake, your brain doesn't experience it as just another random event. It can register it as something went wrong socially. And that matters. Because for most of human history, belonging to a group mattered enormously. So your mind becomes interested in the moment. What happened? What did I do? What did they think? What should I have done differently? And that's where the problem begins. Because learning from an experience is useful. Replaying it endlessly is something else. Research on social anxiety and post-event processing has found that repeatedly dwelling on negative social experiences is associated with more negative and shameful recollections of those events. In other words, sometimes your brain isn't solving the memory, it's rehearsing it. Now here's the part that might change how you see your embarrassing memories. You probably think other people remember your mistake as clearly as you do. But there's a psychological phenomenon called the spotlight effect. We tend to overestimate how much other people notice our appearance, actions, and mistakes. Why? Because you experience your own embarrassment from the inside. You remember every detail. You feel every emotion. You know exactly what you meant to say. But the person standing across from you doesn't have access to that entire experience. They're living inside their own head. In classic experiments, people consistently overestimated how noticeable their behavior and appearance were to other people. So that moment you have replayed 50 times may have been a 5-second event in someone else's life. You turned it into a movie. They may have experienced it as a scene, and then moved on. Here's where most people make another mistake. They say, "I need to stop thinking about this." So they fight the thought, push it away, try not to remember. But research on thought suppression suggests that deliberately trying to eliminate unwanted thoughts can sometimes produce a rebound, making those thoughts more accessible later. So instead of declaring war on the memory, change your relationship with it. When it appears, don't say, "Why am I still like this?" Say, "That happened." Not, "I'm such an idiot," but "I made a mistake." There is a huge difference. One attacks your identity. The other simply describes an event. And this is where Stoicism becomes powerful. The Stoics understood something remarkably simple. The past is outside your control. You cannot go back and edit a sentence. You cannot return to yesterday and change someone's impression of you. You cannot make yourself 5 years younger and give yourself better advice. So why keep demanding control over something that no longer belongs to you? The Stoic approach isn't pretend it never happened. It's learn what it has to teach you, then release what you cannot change. Ask yourself 3 questions. What actually happened? Not the exaggerated version your emotions created, just the facts. Second, what can I learn from it? Maybe you need to listen more, speak more carefully, apologize, or perhaps you simply learned that you're human. And third, is there anything I can do about it now? If yes, do it. If no, let the past remain the past. The next time an embarrassing memory suddenly appears, don't run from it, don't feed it, and don't turn one awkward moment into a definition of who you are. Look at it, learn from it, then return to the present. Because your brain may remember the moment, but you don't have to keep reliving it. And maybe that's the real lesson. You cannot control every memory that enters your mind, but you can decide which memories deserve your attention. The moment happened once. Don't let your mind make you live it twice. If this video made you think differently about your own past, subscribe for more psychology, human behavior, and Stoic wisdom for everyday life.